How's everybody doing? Today is Sunday Live. And we are here in Esteli, Nicaragua. And as you can see, temperature today is a little bit warmer. I definitely miss that 70 degrees inside of Tabanero Cigars lounge. But we are here. We want to share how things are going, where our minds are right now on the, I think, third or fourth week in Esteli. And I have a special guest, Lorena Maceda, because we want to share, many thoughts and conversations we've been having as soon as we arrived to Nicaragua. The transition, leaving a lot of things behind, the shape that the dream is taking, and what is the meaning of being the first generation, and how that affects your life, how you see things, how you think of your next generation, how much you are worried of what you are going to leave for your, what is going to transcend of your work, your life to the next generation. So let's talk a little bit about being first generation. We never pay attention to that. As soon as until you really start thinking of your kids, and when you see that being first generation, you don't have anybody that is coming to save you. You don't have anybody to lean on. It puts you to think, what would happen if my kids were first generation in this amazing country of United States, and also here in Nicaragua. So please share, because you are also first generation. I guess that's a lot that we have in common. Share how was your experience coming to the U.S. and acknowledging now in this journey, I am first generation. What is the meaning for me?
It was May of 2001. It was right before September 11, actually. We came to the States as a family, my parents, my brother, and myself. We all, of course, came looking for the American dream. But I'm the last man standing. My parents didn't get adjusted to the country. They didn't have anything bad to say about it. Of course, it's an amazing country. It's just the age where they got to the States, it was a little more like on the older side. And they went back 5 years later. They went back to Colombia. So I stayed by myself. It wasn't an option for me. It was one of those things that once you're there and you kind of get adjusted and you start doing the hustle and bustle, you just don't think about going back. It wasn't an option for me. I stayed. I was going to college. I was working. So it was a no-brainer for me. I stayed.
It was because even the Florida has not a lot in common with Bogota, the capital of Colombia. You kind of had a sense that going back to what was already known, it was not going to be enough. It was not going to, you kind of knew that you had to continue that venture. That there was a reason why you did that and you wanted to stick with it.
It was one of those things that I kind of had to find out for myself. I was like, I need to see what's in store for me here in the States. I already knew what I was going back to, like you said. If I go back to Colombia, I already know that I'm gonna have to live with my parents because I can't work on my own. It's a very expensive, you've been there, it's a very, for Colombian means, for our income, is very hard to leave your parents' home if you don't have an education, if you're not married. So it wasn't an option for me. I said, I have to find out what's in store for me here. And once I tried it, I got the hang of it. I didn't think about going back. It was.
Do you feel proud now that we've been doing this for quite some time, understanding what was the meaning of you staying, of I don't know if I should say what I'm trying to say. If now you have a better understanding, what was it to stay, stay ground and say yes, I'm gonna stay. I'm first generation. I'm gonna make it happen. Do you see it in a different way now?
Yeah, it took, of course, having. I knew it was gonna be a better future for me, and it took a better understanding once we started the family and once we saw the kids starting to grow. I said I made the right decision. It was definitely worth it.
Do you think that, because I know Sebastian knows, he knows exactly what first generation is. Sebastian, it's an amazing kid. That's my first kid, Sebastian Maceda. And he definitely knows what first generation means. He has a lot from me, from us. Do you think Santiago and Valentina they have a good grasp of what means being siblings, being the kids of first generation individuals?
I think they're becoming more aware of what it means. Now that they're exposed to a lot more of like our culture, I guess. Mm-hmm. Being Latin America, being, Hispanic, they come to Nicaragua and they see what a blessing it is to have that blue passport, to be able to go back every so often and what their parents are building. Eventually, it's they compare. Even having a car, it's a luxury here.
Yeah, they were recently in Bogota and they realized what life they could have if they were stay in Nicaragua with their mom.
Yeah.
And they never been to Cuba. If they go to Cuba.
Yeah.
It's
one of those things that you tell them and they listen and they understand, but seeing it firsthand, they were in Colombia with me for 5 weeks and it was so busy. And Colombia is a very developed country, and Bogota being the capital, it's so big. Like I was born and raised there, but I can't not get adjusted to being there for so long. It was a cultural shock. I'm a small town girl now.
Well, first generation, that means no shortcuts. We are the ones laying the foundation. We don't quit because their kids are watching. They are learning to fight from us. Someday they will thank us not just for what we built, but for teaching them resilience.
Definitely.
What cigar you having in there?
Sweet Lips.
Hey, Corona Sweet Lips. All right. Yes, definitely. Being a first generation, you start finding out the meaning when you get in this ventures, this journey of kind of going back to where we came from. Because many times I feel in here in Esteli like I'm back in Cuba, and you have mentioned that this Esteli looks like kind of like a town where your mother used to be from.
Like when you travel, when you do road trips in Colombia, the scenery, the people, the houses, the shops, everything looks very similar.
Yeah, every once in a while I looked around and I said, oh, that's my mother-in-law, because they even look alike. But let's talk about bringing the family along, because you are the one responsible for that. And I have no idea how much I needed that to happen. I always dream of a family, but until I met you, until I realized, what kind of person it takes to build that dream family. I was a fool thinking that I was gonna be coming here every 45 days and be able to keep the beautiful family I have. So please share how that happened, how you came to realize that for all to succeed, we needed to come alone. We needed to be together.
You did it the first year that since you started traveling to Nicaragua often. You were here for 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, and we stayed behind. And it was really hard for us, for the kids and myself, to be away from you. And I think it was one of those things that when you went back, it took you about 2 weeks to get back into routine. And I'm assuming it was the same when you came here, like for you to get in that. And it was, so I figured you were not gonna be able to give 100% in Tampa or 100% here. So it was a no-brainer. Since I met my guy, I knew he was gonna start traveling at some point. He always, when we met, the first thing that came out of his mind or out of his mouth was doing great things and big things and his dreams, and never talked about money. You know, money was, of course, an add-on, but it wasn't something that came out of his mouth often. And I figured at some point, you know, that corner in Tampa is gonna be too small, and you're gonna have to start traveling for the world to know you. And eventually, at that time, I wasn't sure how it was going to develop, like how this is going to unfold. And when COVID happened and you started coming here more often, and we came on vacation, and I saw that it was such a, you know, nice area. It was I felt very secure.
It was welcoming, yeah.
Very welcoming. It was one of those things that, you know what, the kids are at that age where we can tell them we're going here, and they're gonna have to follow along, because they're not old enough to say I'm staying or I don't want to go. They're not in the boyfriend girlfriend stage yet. So it was easy. It was one of those things that we made it. How about we go here for, you know, a couple years and see how. But they're enjoying it. They're loving it so much, and so am I. You're home to me, to us.
Thank
so
you.
Wherever you are, that's where we are too.
Thank you, but it was a month later, after you make the decision, I still bump in my head of how, you know, how naive I was, thinking that I was going to make it, thinking that I was going to be able to succeed here in Nicaragua, just coming by myself, you know, keeping you guys safe, you know, up north. And I realized you can be safer than when we are here.
Being together is what, you know, it was going to take a toll on our family, on our marriage, and it was.
And the more I spend time here in Esteli, in Nicaragua, and we have the opportunity to go back and forth to the first world, the U.S., to the new world, the U.S., and then coming back, I get to compare a lot and look at my kids and really think of what is the best I can inherit to my kid. What is the best I can leave for my kids? And it has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with money. And I sometimes people think I'm joking around when I go, I'm not leaving anything. I'm not leaving anything for them. And I say it in front of them, and they get worried. They have asked me later, "Hey, Dad, what do you mean that I'm not leaving anything for you guys?" You know, because this journey, they learning so much. They understanding what it takes for first generation, and they understanding the not thinking that you have someone who lean on. It's not being expecting for someone to come to save you. That makes you strong. That makes you resilient, and that's what I'm gonna leave for them. That resiliency of not giving up and not thinking, "Oh, my dad is coming to save me." No, I'm not coming. I'll save you now that you are 8, that you are 10, and that you are 23. I'm saving you guys now, but later on, Well, Sebastian, I don't feel I have to save him anymore. He's never did. Sebastian's being really, really independent. He definitely raised the standard for this too.
Yeah.
He's really responsible. So I want them to grow with that mentality that no one is to be at fault. No one is to be blamed. That is their decisions, their result, and they're gonna have to learn to deal with it. And that's why we're giving them the education, we're giving them the experiences.
And it's one of those things that you kind of stop explaining to people, like how they do school online. They have teachers online and they do school at home. And for a lot of people, it's like, how do they do socially? Well, they have sports, they have classes outside of their normal curriculum, and they're very sociable. It's as long as they're learning, I don't really mind that they're doing it here. I would just spend 5 weeks in Colombia with them and my parents and my sister and my nieces, and they were there, so they enjoyed that flexibility. So
yeah, and what better social skills they get in here than not a lot of kids are in a birthday party with their phones. So there's still a lot of organic kids here. So, and they don't have phones, they don't have any devices. They go raw anywhere they go.
So they're enjoying it, and we are too. People ask why we follow this crazy family dream. And it's because family comes first. Change doesn't scare me anymore. We've learned to adapt, adjust, and keep moving forward. Every airport, every new city is part of the story we're writing for the next generations.
So when we think on everything that we are doing, when we reflect, when we have great conversations up here at night, there's not as warm like now. We always think on the why. Why truly we're doing all this. We realize that it's not, how would you say, for the highlight, for the material stuff or the vacations. It's for the purpose. It's purpose, the why we're doing things. And I find myself making amazing cigars, working on a better lounge setting, ideas, innovating. The end game, it's about next generations. How to understand next generations the meaning of a social place, a social lifestyle that enriches your life. You know, we always talking about how our great conversations in the lounge help us to go home and reflect and think how we can better our life. So I believe that everything we are doing, everything that we're going through is basically for the next generations.
It's going to be our legacy.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's going to be a legacy. And also, I feel a responsibility. The same way my young apprentices here in Nicaragua. I can't save them all. They not all are in the right time of their life to absorb what I have to offer. They like the glances. They like the being in Esteli. I have a nice home. I drive a nice car, but they don't really know what it takes. They don't really know what it takes as a first generation going to the U.S. And I feel responsible. I feel responsible, not just my kids. I feel responsible for this next generation that they're not at fault. They have so much going on in such a small space right here. You can hold it in the palm of your hand, and they're looking at the world through that. That they're missing out on things that really matter in life. And I'm 46. I don't know if when they get older, they will get a better grasp, or some of them they will never understand because they following trend, they following, influencers. So I don't know if by the time they realize that life was something else, it will be too late. It will be too late.
It's definitely not the way we grew up.
Mm-mm.
So they put a lot of pressure on themselves, but I believe it's for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have so much out there to compare themselves to, and their success and the print they're living on the world, that it's they're missing out on what's
Truly,
important,
yeah.
and what's right now.
And you're the one who taught me years ago to run my own race, no? In a sense of not paying too much attention to my competition or trying
To what
them,
the other ones are doing.
trying them to understand what was working for me. I tried a few times to share with the competition. I don't know, as a noble person, and I realized, you know what? Yes, I'm going to run my own race, but I'm exposed to a lot of younger individuals, and I don't really spend time with most of the people that are my age or older than me that I mingle with, that I'm friend with, that I know. Most of them, I have things to learn from them. Most of the people that I share time, I'm learning from them. They can ask me a little bit about cigars, this and that. Okay, that's what I do, but most of the time I'm learning from them. So when I'm around young people and I see potential, I feel responsible. I feel that there's not a lot of people around them that they can say just a word. I just say, look, don't rush it. You got plenty of time. And especially when they ask me, when they go, well, Maceda, how you did, or this and that. If I see the person it's being honest about asking genuine, I'll spend time. Before I used to spend time with too many people, and then I realized no, time is a limited resource. So I really choose who to spend time with and who to share some of my experiences. I'm not old enough or successful enough to be an influencer on younger individuals. I think I'll be able to be an influencer when I'm 100 years old. Right now, I'm in the beginning. So yes, I feel compromised with the next generations, especially my kids, my son Sebastian. We talk, I wouldn't say every day, but we talk every week, 2 or 3 times. And he's far from me. I'm not going to see him again in another 3 months. So it's been tough for me to leave him behind. And I know it's tough on him too, because we have an amazing relationship.
I feel that he's at that age where he enjoys spending time with you more now, because you guys, he's at that age where he's, trying to pave his own way, and you have more wisdom to impart on him, that it doesn't sound as like a lecture when they're under your roof, you know how it is, like, oh my God, you know, here he comes again. Now he's like, you know, he talks to you, he tells you things, and he's always looked up to you. But now it's like you guys at that stage where you're enjoying each other more because, I don't know.
No, you're right. He has his own free will, you know. He's still got a little bit more to mature to become my friend, but we enjoying our dad-son relationship. I don't think we still can become friends. I don't think so, because every time I gotta tell him how it is, I'll tell him, and he has to deal with it. And I wouldn't tell a friend how I think it should be, because we all have to live our own experiences.
Right.
And I got friends that I know if I tell them, look, that's not how it's supposed to be.
It's gonna end up
It's
here.
gonna end up at the
What's gonna
friendship.
happen.
Yeah. So this is bigger than us. It is for kids and for the generations after them. The constant change, it is teaching them confidence and social skills we never had. We are not just raising kids, we are raising future leaders. Guys, thank you for joining us on our third Sunday live. Family alone for the journey, but never really alone, because we have each other and we have all supporting us. So I see you guys next time.
Thank you.